Hadesomega here. It's February 16th, 2024, and we're here in Santa Rosa at the Santa Rosa or Sonoma County Fair. That's where we're at, all right? At Grace Pavilion. Just like last year, all right? We're here for the Santa Rosa indoor short track races, all right? And here we are. I'm waiting for the gates to open. All right, so this is the beginning of my after action review vlog. All right, the what's gonna happen stuff. All right, but yeah, so here's what's gonna happen is they're gonna open the gate, and then we're gonna go set up our pit, and then I'm gonna go register and then put my gear on, and then we're gonna go racing today. All right, Hadesomega is planning to at least do 2 races today. All right, I'm gonna race in the e-bike class. There's an actual electric class now, and the supermoto class. All right, I brought the Redshift and the Light B. All right, they back there somewhere. You can see them. All right, and yeah, good times. So I'm just waiting for them to open the gate. So the gate's supposed to open at 10, and it's 9:15. I got here too early. Too early, like all these other guys. There's a long line of the street, man. We're just kind of blocking traffic a little bit, but yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be here like it was last year, and hopefully it won't rain today. It's not supposed to. But tomorrow it's gonna rain, so I'm just gonna race today. Okay, so while we're waiting to go in, I did some prep. All right, so in flat track they want you to use 2 numbers. All right, guys. So I chose 27. All right. Well, I'm 277, and I blocked one of my numbers out. All right, for the Light B, and also I did the same thing for the side number plate. I don't know if we're gonna need the side number plate. I'll put them on if I have to. Also, what I've done is, I did this last night. I took the front brake off and I zip tied it to the handlebar. All right, you're not supposed to have a front brake. I took the brake lever off the Alta. All right, you're not supposed to have a, but I still have my left-hand rear brake on the other side. So they'll just think it's a clutch or something. Okay. Also, what I did is I put duct tape over the foot pegs. All right, they said they don't want, I remember last year they didn't want us having anything sharp on the foot pegs because it's going to be close contact. So I did that. I still have to do that one, but yeah, I just have to cover up the cleats, and then yeah, so that's all I've done for now. We got to put the number plates on. I disabled the headlight on the Redshift, and yeah, that should be it. Should be ready to go. I've got the slick tires on there and everything. I just installed a brand new set of Dunlop Moto 3s on the Light B. I barely took it out for a you know, scrub-in ride yesterday, so yeah, should be good. Yeah, and pretty much when we get there, I don't think there's really much else to do. I just have to tape up that last foot peg, and I think we should be good to go. I'm gonna go to tech. All right, and I want to mention this is going to be my first race 2024 on my bikes, okay? I did have a race before this. That was the endurance race at Shasta Supermoto, but I didn't use, well, I kind of did use my bike, didn't I? I used a different bike. I used the KLX though. All right, this is my first race with the Redshift and the Light B. It's in wintertime, so all right. Alright, it's 9:35 and it's amassing. They just told me that they're gonna open up a little bit early, so that's good. So my goal is to get, there was a spot I pit at last year that had power. Alright, it had like RV power, alright, and so I can charge my RAV4, I can run my tire warmers and everything, charge my bikes from there. So I'm gonna try to get that spot again, so alright. Alright guys, I found the same place I pitted last year. Alright, it's got power. Alright, there's power right here. There's 220 power and 120 power here. So yeah, I got power to charge the bikes, run the warmers, do everything, man. So we should be good, dude. Alright, so I'm in here, and then I just gotta download the bikes, plug everything in, and then sign up for the racing. Alright, so I think I'm gonna do 4 races today. Okay. All right. Woo! Let's go racing. Here we are. All right, guys. So there's my pit right here. So we can pit outside because it's not going to rain today. But if it does rain, we got to go inside. So, and I brought my tire warmers. You know, if this will work if I can go in and back and forth between the pits. But if it starts raining, then yeah, we just gotta leave the bikes inside. Like last year. So, but yeah, here it is, and I'm charging my RAV4. Actually, I didn't park over there because that power thing didn't work. So, and there's my boot. I taped up my boot so we can be nice and slippy on the pavement there. I wouldn't say that's asphalt, but there's my front brake zip tied to the handlebar, and I don't have a front brake lever on this one. So, pretty simple for the Redshift. Just take the brake lever off. And yeah, and we're ready to go. I've taped up the foot pegs, so there's no sharp stuff. All the stuff they told me last year. I'm not gonna lie, the tech was pretty not very strict this year. Just want to say they just kind of didn't look at too much stuff, and they wanted me to unplug my headlight. This one is unplugged, and that one has a switch to turn it on and off. So we're good. All right, good to go racing. We're gonna have practice in a bit now. I'm racing in only 2 classes. I was gonna do, my plan was to actually race 4 classes because I'm only gonna be here today, and then so that's a scoop, man. I'm racing Mad Dog and Mad Dog again for the minis, and then I'm gonna race 40 plus for the with the Redshift. So we'll see how it does out there. I've raced the Light B here, and it does okay. And then the Redshift, we'll find out. We'll be racing in the 40-year-olds class. I don't know what kind of bikes we'll be racing against. So, but hopefully it'll be fun. Yeah. Okay. So I'm putting my gear on right now and getting ready to go out. I need to go eat too. I'm super hungry. But I just got done with the tech, so we're all good. Light B is run group 5. All right. Practice group 5, and the Redshift is practice group 3. And man, the practice, like, it's super short, guys. So don't expect much. It's gonna be like, do a couple laps and then that's it. All right. All right, it's me here. We just got done with practice. We had 2 rounds of practice, and then now we're having a lunch, and then I guess after lunch, heat races. All right. And the bikes are just chilling right here with the warmers. All right, guys. So the second, the heat races are over. I don't know. There might be like a second set of heat races. So I might get another chance. I'm sure they'll probably have like a last chance qualifier. We'll see if we make it to the main. I don't know if we're gonna make it to the main. We'll find out. All right, but that's how it's going, man. I think I got 3rd in the Mad Dog race, and I got last in the seniors race, the 40s, 40 plus. Those guys were fast, man. It was nuts, man. Yeah, I was looking at their bikes, like, oh, these bikes are kind of exotic looking. So yeah, they knew what they were doing, is what I say. All right, Hadesomega is just like, I'm playing. That's what I say. I'm feeling it out, type of thing. All right, but I get my practice in. I don't get a chance to do this very often, and I'm having fun. All right, so as long as I'm having fun and don't get hurt or break the bike, then I'm having a good time. All right, so we're just waiting for our next round of races to come up, and then hopefully we'll still be in there. All right, hey, Hadesomega here, and this is the after action review for the Santa Rosa indoor short track races on February 16, 2024. All right, it was in Santa Rosa, California. I did this race the previous year. Okay, so this is my 2nd year doing this race, and I got another bike. All right, I brought 2 bikes this time. I raced on the 16th. The event is actually on the 16th and 17th, and the 17th is today. All right, so I decided to only do 1 day. All right, guys. And the reason I wanted to do yesterday's race, all right, it was on Friday and Saturday. It was kind of weird. I don't know why they scheduled it like that. They should have scheduled it on Saturday, Sunday, right? But yeah, anyway, so the scoop is Friday they had an e-bike and supermoto race, okay? And that was what I wanted to race the most, all right? They had a class just for e-bikes, and they had a class just for supermotos, and nobody showed up. All right, that's the scoop. All right, so what was supposed to happen and what really happened already gone wrong, all right? But it doesn't matter. Hadesomega was thinking, like, you know what? If I just race one day, we can let's race like 4 races. It's short track, you know. You're not putting a lot of stress on the bikes at all, you know. It's just the race is like it's a few minutes long, you know. You don't have to worry about charging. You don't have to worry about anything overheating, you know, that type of stuff. So I said I'll do 4 races. So the plan was to race to race Mad Dog, well, the e-bike and the supermoto race, and then Mad Dog, and then probably like what was the other one? 250, 450 amateur. Okay, those are the classes that I felt like I could ride in that day. All right, and so what really happened was I signed up for Mad Dog and 40 plus. All right. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the 40 plus, but yeah, there was a age group one. All right. So Hadesomega's 42, I think, and 42, and so I could race with the 40-year-olds. All right. And I'll tell you this, that was a bad idea. Those guys were fast, man. I tell you. All right. You should always pick a class where you think you're not going to get murdered in. All right. That's what I say. All right. But anyway. So that's a scoop. I mean, it could be. It's basically it's an open class, but there's an age restriction. All right, so you can literally ride. You can race any bike as long as you meet the age requirement, guys. So that does, you know, every race has its prerequisites that you gotta follow. All right, type of thing. So for Mad Dog, I think it's from like 100 to 195 cc air cooled 4-stroke. So one thing about flat track is, like, you know, the liquid cooled bikes, they get all pushed out of the thing. So that's one of the nice things. I don't have to worry about racing against that daggone 150R still, okay? Because that's a liquid cooled bike, all right? So they have these classes for air cooled 4-stroke bikes because they're so popular, all right? Yeah, so that's the scoop. They're really popular, and that's the reason why, you know, there's more races with them, all right? Type of thing. So, but anyway. Yeah, when I got there pretty early, the gates open at 10. I got there at like 9 something, like 9:15 or something. I had to wait like about 40 minutes to get inside. We go inside. You have to pay a $40 like pit pass thing. Like that's your pass to get in, and then, you know, park and pit and stuff. And then yeah. So this race was this race is run by McAllister Motorsports. All right, you know, Brock McAllister. And he's the one that put this event on, so it's pretty cool. I have to say it's kind of a popular event. All right, it's like kind of like traditional type of thing. They used to do a lot of indoor flat track racing there. They used to do indoor flat track racing where I live in San Jose. So I don't know why they don't do it anymore. If they do it in San Jose, you can bet I'll go race it. You know, I'd like to get as much practice in this as possible. All right. In my opinion, flat track's kind of a valuable skill to have, to be able to control the bike when it slides, all right, type of thing, all right. And basically, when you slide the bike, you're just point the bike in the direction that you're trying to go, all right. Let me talk about the prep to get to the race, all right. So I kind of talked about what happened at the beginning, but I'll talk about what happened before. I prepped the bikes. This is the first race that I raced these 2 bikes, all right, the Sauron Light B and my Ultra Redshift SM, right? And so I had been doing a lot of work on the Light B and some work on the Redshift, all right. So on the Redshift, let's go over to Redshift. All right. So what I have been doing to get this thing ready for 2024 is I added a left-hand rear brake, all right. So now on the left side here, you probably can't see it, but it's behind the handguard. There's a brake lever, all right. It's kind of similar to what's on the Light B. It's a mountain bike brake lever, all right. And then it's a left-hand brake. It's a left-hand brake, but I still have the option to use the foot brake if I wanted to. Okay, and yeah, so that helps a lot because Hadesomega is not good at using the foot brake. All right. If I just needed to stab it real quick, then yeah, I could probably. In flat track, it's not. In flat track, I guess you don't really need a left-hand rear brake because your foot is pretty much on the right foot peg all the time. You're always going counterclockwise, guys. Well, I don't know any other flat track race where you go the other direction. Well, short track for short track, okay, guys. So anyway, yeah. So I had done the aux brake. All right. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of up in the air whether I like the aux brake or not. I've been testing it out, you know, and I don't like the feel of the lever. The feel of the lever is totally different than the front brake. Okay, the front brake is really quick and grabby, and then the rear brake is you really got to pull that sucker, man, and to get it to brake hard. Okay, but you can always use the foot brake too, and I think the foot brake, yeah, if you use the foot brake, there's a lot less squish to it. All right. So what else? Preparations did I do? I removed the front brake lever on this. All right. There's no front brake lever. You're not allowed to use the front brake in flat track. At least in this event. All right. I have raced flat track races where they allow you to use the front brake. Okay, guys. They say it's cheating if you're using the front brake. Okay. Because like you got to go really fast and you got to slow down really fast and then go really fast again, and you know it's a good idea to have good brakes, all right, especially if you're going really fast into the corner. The bike ain't gonna turn, you just understeer. Okay, so another thing that we did to prep is I taped the foot pegs. All right, I taped the foot pegs with duct tape. They don't want you to have any sharp stuff on your bike, okay, because I'm not gonna lie, man, especially in these short track indoor races, there's a lot of close contact racing, man. Your chances of contacting with somebody is gonna be, you know, thing. And like if you got anything sticking out of your bike, it could harm another racer, all right, or yourself, okay? So yeah, they don't want anything like sharp sticking out. So I learned that from last year, okay, guys? So I put duct tape around the foot pegs, all right? And I still got the foot peg sliders on the bottom. All right. I don't think foot pegs ever touched the ground in this race, man. Yeah. And then we put the slick tires on. All right. The slick tires work pretty good for the indoor flat track, in my opinion. Well, I'll talk about it later, like how it was racing with these both bikes. Okay. So front brake disabled. All right, but I still have a left-hand rear brake, so that's good. I don't really use the foot brake at all. Maybe I should have tried it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I did to prep the Redshift. During the practice, they wanted me to zip tie my side stand. There's some racing organizations that they don't want you to have the kickstand, all right? I've never had a kickstand go down on me, like especially like on jumps and stuff. Maybe they're afraid somebody's gonna kick your kickstand and it goes down and you crash, or I don't know, man. There has to be some reason they do that, or you just take the kickstand off. It's really annoying. I like having a kickstand, but I understand like a lot of the brace bikes, they don't have kickstands, all right? But it's really annoying not to have a kickstand, guys. So yeah, they wanted me to disable. Well, they wanted me to zip tie the kickstand so it was in the up position. Or actually, I have a little rubber loop thing for the kickstand on this. But I think the Supermoto Redshift doesn't have the thing to put the loop thing on it. All right, I think that the EX model has that, where you can tie it to there's a little loop, to a rubber loop, or like a rubber band sorta, and it goes around the kickstand. So like if you hit a jump really hard, its chances of going down is not likely. Okay, well all I did, I zip tied it to the subframe. Right, I already took it off, so. Hopefully it didn't scratch my subframe. No, it was fine. Okay, and yeah, and then they kept on telling me to you need to tape up all your lights. They want you to disable the lights. They don't want any lights going. All right, so then I think they were saying, somebody was saying I was racing with like my turn signal on or something. So next time I'll probably, I'm not gonna lie, I probably was the only street bike. I was the only one that had a street legal bike there. Okay, I had my license plate still. Somebody was asking like, hey, they let you race with the license plate on there? Like, yeah, why not? Last year I raced against a Zero FX, okay, and I think that had a license plate, so I don't think they care about the license plate. But yeah, they do care if your lights are on, so I taped up all the lights, all right. I already taped the rear light, and I guess you could still see the light shine through it, so they added more tape to it. All right, next time I'll tape the turn signals up, all right, just in case I hit the turn signal button. I disabled the front lights, all right, the little light and the big light, and I think that's it. That's all I had to do to prep the bike for this race. Yeah, it's a little more prep than usual. Supermoto, we don't really have all that kind of stuff. And honestly, the tech wasn't that. It wasn't that. I will say it wasn't that. They didn't scrutinize the bike too much. All right, but when I was out there. When I was out there during practice, they did. They said, "Oh, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that." Like, okay. Same thing with the light bee. All right, so the light bee. All right, I'm gonna go over some of the mods that I've done for to get this ready for 2024 race season, and then how I prep this bike for this race. Okay, so I got this fancy headlight and number plate. All right, and I got new race number, guys. It has my name on it and everything. All right, however. In flat track, they don't want you to use 3 numbers. They only want you to use 2 numbers because I guess it's easier to remember. Right? They're old school. They don't use transponders, guys. However, I feel that transponders would be a more accurate way of scoring because I have a feeling that like in one of my races, I was in front of somebody because I had lapped them and then they didn't catch that, so I lost the place. All right, but you should be first place, Hadesomega. All right, anyway. Oh, okay. This is the first race for the EBMX X9000 controller, all right? So for this year, I went from the KO Moto F-Spec controller to the EBMX X9000 controller, all right? Its specs are pretty similar to the F-Spec controller. I'm not gonna lie, the F-Spec controller had plenty of power, all right? But this one has a regen throttle, all right? So now I have a thumb brake, all right? I have a regen throttle for flat track, and I never, I have tried. I have raced, dirt track races before with the regen throttle, and I like it a whole lot. I can just drag the rear end all the way, slow down a lot, and then get back on the throttle. Okay, so yeah, that was my first time using it for indoor flat track. Okay, guys. And these short track races where you race around an oval, okay. I have the Von Cat rear shock. I had it serviced. All right. Oh yeah, I got a KO swing arm. Okay, so I ditched my old swing arm. All right, the stock swing arm because it was too flexy and I kept on cracking it and stuff. And then now I got this KO Moto swing arm. All right, and it's a little bit longer than stock. So because of that, I had to get a stiffer spring for my rear shock, all right, because it adds more leverage. The swing arm is longer, it adds more leverage, and it makes you need a stronger spring to hold the bike up, all right, and yeah, so that's a scoop. I got a stiffer spring from Von Cat, and while I was at it, I had them service the shock because the bumper was cracked on it. So I said, hey, might as well send it in, get it serviced. And then they can put the spring on for me and everything. So that's what they did. All right. Thanks, Von Cat. All right. Thanks for your support. Yeah, they hooked me up with this shock a couple years ago to test out, and I've had it ever since. And yeah, it works great. Okay. And we're using it with the KO swing arm. I also had rebuilt the forks. All right. It's rebuilt by myself. All the internals are pretty much refreshed is what I'm going to say. I won't say brand new, but and yeah, and that's pretty much it. It has new primary drive stuff, but I had to change it because of we changed the swing arm, and then I changed the primary drive. Yeah, the primary drive and the secondary drive were brand new. Okay, guys. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. How I prepped it for the race is I had to take the brake lever off. Right, I took the front brake lever off, and I zip tied it to the handlebar. Same thing as I did last year. All right, I can't. It's hard to take the lever off of that mountain bike thing. I don't think it's easy. So the easiest thing to do is just take the whole lever off. All right, and then I take the foot pegs just like the other bike. All right, and I taped up the lights. They don't want to see any lights coming out, but I have a switch for this headlight, so I made sure that was off. And I think that's it. That's all they wanted. I put the racing numbers on there. The racing numbers aren't on there right now, but I have to take them off when I put it on the trailer. And the kickstand I zip tied up. All right, I made it look like it was zip tied up. I'm sure if you hit it hard enough, it would just break and come down. So the zip tie. All right. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I have a bike. I also I've been tuning this bike, all right. I haven't. This is his first race, so I'm trying. I tuned it very similar to the F spec. I think I set it for like 16 kilowatts. A lot of power. All right, guys. So and that was for race mode 3. Okay, and it was great. Okay. Yeah, I tried to have it set up similar to KO, except yeah, we have a regen throttle now. Okay, and if I do let off on the throttle, it just coasts. Okay. Also, I have brand new Dunlop Moto 3 tires. Brand new, guys, brand new rubber. I install them. Yeah, that's actually the newest thing that I did to the bike. I replaced the old Dunlop. Actually the old tires back there. So it did me good for the last race season, and hopefully they'll do me good for this season. Okay, so that's the scoop. That's how I prep the bikes. If it was possible, I wanted to try running tire warmers. All right, I didn't do it last year because it rained, and so we had to keep the bike indoors, and there just wasn't power to use the tire warmers. So, yeah, there was just so many bikes inside, and you know the tire warmers just there's no place to use them. Okay, but this time I was able. There's a power at the fairgrounds, where you can park a RV there and then plug into the 220 power. I was able to charge my RAV4 and I was able to run tire warmers. So I didn't bring the generator, guys, and the plan succeeded. All right, when I got there, I was able to plug into 120 volts. I was able to charge my RAV4 with the 240 volt outlet too. So I did that while I was at it, and then yeah, it was nice, man. Being able to run the tire warmers without running the freaking generator, man. It's not stinky, it's not loud. Yeah, man, it's nice, and you don't feel bad about just leaving your bike on the warmers all day. You're not wasting any gas. You're just using up Santa Rosa's electricity. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's how it was. I had to bring both of the stands. All right, I brought the Harbor Freight lift stand, lift jack, and the Tusk lift stand. All right, and we use the Tusk lift stand for this, and the Harbor Freight stand for this to use the tire warmers. All right, I wanted to try using the tire warmers. At the end I'll let you guys know how that worked out. Okay. All right. So yeah. All right. So let's go back to the races. All right. So everything's all prepped. We're ready to go. I'm there. The pit's set up. All right. And then we're gonna go register. And I wanted to go register to race in the e-bike race and the supermoto race. All right. Because I raced in Moto Beach Classic last year at Huntington Beach. All right. The Roland Sands Moto Beach Classic, and they had a supermoto class. And they had an e-bike class, all right, electric motorcycle class. So it was a electric open is what they called it, all right. And yeah, we had all sorts of bikes racing in it. It was a whole lot of fun. I got third. I got third place. Anyway, yeah, I was looking for some of that kind of racing to do, man. And unfortunately, nobody signed up to race e-bikes, and I can't race by myself, guys. Okay. So yeah, if you're just only one person on the grid, then yeah, that's not racing. All right, so scratch that idea. And I was gonna race the Alta Redshift in the Supermoto class. All right, so Supermoto is I think it's called Open Supermoto, and as long as you have a bike that has 17-inch rims, so like a sport, you could probably race a sport bike, guys. If you had like a Ninja 250 with handlebars or something, you could probably race it, and I wouldn't want to do that. That sounds like fun. But anyway, yeah. So you just need to have 17-inch rims, okay? And actually, both of these bikes qualify for that because I'm running 17s on both of these bikes. All right, these bikes are set up for supermoto racing. All right, if you guys didn't know, flat trackers mainly run 19-inch rims. Okay, so yeah. And so this actually, a stock Suron makes a good flat tracking bike. Okay, I think if you have the stock Suron wheels and you put Trials tires on it, that's actually an ideal flat tracking setup. All right, I think a Talaria race had similar setup to that. All right, but yeah, the stock wheel setup on the Light V is actually already a good flat tracker setup. All right, you just need to put like some tires, So Trials tires works good on the dirt and on the pavement. All right, guys. That's what I would do. But I don't I do have all my 19-inch rims. I do. I still have them. So if I wanted to run 19s with trials tires, I could. So I might make, for flat track, I might try that. I don't know if a 17-inch tire or a 19-inch tire is ideal. That's a good question. I should ask that to somebody. Is it for flat track? Does it matter? Is 19 versus 17? I know what another thing is like what kind of tire availability there is for those sizes. Okay, but anyway, yeah. I'm getting off tangent here. Okay, guys. Supermoto 17-inch rims. Okay, so that's why I was gonna race the Redshift in it, because it's a Supermoto. All right, this was sold as a Supermoto. All right, this was born as a Supermoto. That's what it was made to do. Supermoto, guys. that's the SM and the Redshift SM. All right, guys. Supermoto. All right, so that's its calling. All right, and guess what? Nobody signed up to race that either. I was like, come on, man. There's a bunch of Supermoto guys out here. Oh, they should do some flat track racing. Come on, man. Supermotos are great for flat track racing. What are you guys doing, man? Anyway, yeah. So that's the scoop, man. I couldn't find the freaking thing. I couldn't find any playmates. So what Hadesomega had to sign up for was the Mad Dog class, like I mentioned. That's the 100 to like 200 cc or something, and it had to be air-cooled 4-stroke. Okay. Well, my bike is air-cooled, but it's not a 4-stroke. But I had nothing else to race in. They just said, yeah, you just put them in there. Okay. Okay, yeah. So I could pretty much race in any race. So what Hadesomega signed up for was Mad Dog, and so that's the mini bike race basically, and 40 plus. Okay, so I had a choice. All right, 250, 450, or 40 plus. All right, and I chose 40 plus, and I'm not gonna choose it again, and I'll tell you why. All right, I think it would probably be better to race this in the 250, 450 race, guys. It's more. I think that would be a more appropriate class, but the 250, 450 amateur class was pretty crazy too. Okay, not gonna lie, man. Anyway, so that's a scoop there. Okay, guys. A lot of those bikes, a lot of those 250, 450 bikes are just dirt bikes with flat tracker wheels. All right, 19-inch wheels. All right, that's what I'm saying. Like if there's a Supermoto, all you have to do is put like, instead of running the 19s, you run the 17s, and then you can run in that Supermoto class. So anyway, so that's the scoop. All right, and then so yeah, we do the tech, and then they didn't really tell me anything. They just tech me. So, but yeah, they told me to like cover up the lights better and stuff, and then I got a zip tied like kickstand and all that stuff. All right, practice comes along, and I think. Yeah. So the first practice comes along, all right, and we get it's a really short practice. Literally, you can do like maybe like 5 laps, and then you're done. Okay, practice is only a few minutes long, all right, guys, and you're in there like smelling the exhaust fumes. Oh my god, it's awful, dude. I'm telling you, I woke up with a headache today. I'm pretty sure that's probably from exhaust poisoning. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, carbon monoxide. You know how that works, right, guys? It steals oxygen from your body. That type of thing. Anyway, so here's the scoop. We went out and we practiced on the Redshift. I practiced in mode 4. All right, guys, and I used that aux brake, as much as I could, and I found out like after a while, after about a minute or two of doing laps, the brakes will fade already. So I'm noticing, it's getting harder to lock the rear up, man. What the heck? Yeah, and then it definitely has a good amount of power. It's definitely controllable. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So this is what you got to do to your boot, guys. All right, there's two ways to do it. All right, and so I forgot about this for the prep. There's 2 ways to do it, guys. You either tape a piece of carpet to the bottom of your boot, all right, or you tape the whole bottom of the boot with duct tape, all right, and that makes your boot more slippery. All right, you can see I've got the 2 boots right here. All right, this one doesn't have any tape. You're only going to be putting your left foot on the ground because they're only going counterclockwise. All right, so that's why only the left boot has the tape, but the right one, it sticks. See how the boot's just bending? It's not really moving. This one slides much more easily. Okay, guys. So that's why you'll see a lot of the racers with tape on their boot. I guess you don't have to do it, guys, but If you did want to drag your feet on the ground everywhere, you know, it's like a hot shoe. Okay, for dirt track they use something called a hot shoe, and it's just this metal shoe that you put on the boot, and you just drag your feet on the ground. It keeps your feet from dragging on the from getting caught on the surface. All right, you want the idea is you want to put your foot on the ground and use it to stabilize the bike while the bike is sliding. All right. And like if it gets too crazy, you're dabbing the whole time, right? So it's basically you've turned your your bipod motorcycle into a tripod motorcycle, that type of thing. Okay, guys. So yeah, okay, but yeah, I did notice like I put my feet down a lot on this bike, all right. And oh, also to prep this bike for racing this year, I also lowered the front, all right. So I lowered the bike a little bit. The front is lower. And then I took this to Evolution Motorcycles, and we had the suspension tuned. All right, I had somebody tune the suspension for me, and basically all he did was make everything super stiff. All right, he said, yeah, the suspension is moving too slow. You need to speed things up. Well, yeah, by speeding things up, you slow the suspension down, right? So you're making it stiffer, all right? So you get more. The bike reacts quicker. Okay. So that's basically what we did. He had it set it up for Supermoto, and yeah, and I think he maxed out the preload. The preload is maxed out all the way, and yeah, pretty much all the suspension setting is all stiff. All right, he slowed it to the max. Okay, and yeah, so that helped me. So to see all the culmination of all my tuning on the suspension, Hadesomega's biggest gripe of the Redshift is it's just a pig, man. It's hard to it doesn't want to handle. Okay, that's my biggest gripe about it. It doesn't turn where you want it to go, right? Like, it doesn't do what you want to do. It's lazy to turn, right? And I let the guy that tuned the bike ride it, and he's like, oh yeah, I now I see what you're talking about. It just plows into the turns. It doesn't have any willingness to turn. Okay, so this is our first chance to try it out in a race. All right, I think it did okay. I for some reason I'm like dragging my feet on this one all the time, and this one I'm hardly dragging my foot. Right, I just kind of just stick it out a little bit, and it's just kind of hanging out there. This one is on the ground all the time, so that must tell you something. Maybe I can get more sideways on this bike. All right, there's no doubt about it. The Redshift has more power than the Lightbee. All right, but it's also like twice as heavy. Yeah, literally, it's almost twice as heavy as the Lightbee. All right, where this one has got a lot of power, and you can get it sideways and stuff, but it doesn't want to turn. This one, when I did this practice for this one, the practice was after for this one. I was like, man, this thing is so much lighter, and you can throw it around better, and it grips a lot more, you know. And I don't know. I don't know if you want it to grip more or less. You know, certainly you don't want it to low side. All right, guys. That's what you don't want it to do. But yeah, the slick tires were doing good, and I was getting my slide on. I was having a good time. You know. Yeah, I wish I could get a video of me, you know, doing it so I can see if I'm doing it right. You know, I watch the other riders, and I know what looks right, but I don't know how I look when I'm riding. Okay, guys. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, we took the Lightbee out after, and the Lightbee was great. Good power, all right. I don't know if the, so one thing about this bike was a great whole shot machine, man. It'll take off from the dig like really, really good, all right, because of all that torque and stuff. And I don't know if I've set this up properly where like it'll just take off. I'm not gonna lie, that KO controller, it took a lot of fiddling around with the settings and stuff to get it to launch the way I did before. But after I got that one tuned properly, I was getting the whole shot pretty much almost all the time, right? This one, I think is okay. Those guys were pretty fast, so what can I say, man? So yeah, I think we did great on both bikes, all right? And this one had the Regen thumb throttle. This is my first time trying it out for short track, and it works really good, guys. So there's a kind of a disadvantage of it, okay? You can't drag the rear brake with the thumb brake, okay, guys? You either have to be on the regen throttle or on the throttle. You can't have it on both, because if you get on the thumb throttle and you try to accelerate, it won't accelerate, okay? It can't do both at the same time, because the controller either has to give the give the motor power or take it back, right? So you know, only can do one thing at a time. Whereas if you use the mechanical brake, and we still have the rear brake, guys, if you use the mechanical brake and the throttle at the same time, it's a separate braking system from the power, okay, guys? So you can't drag the brake while giving it power, all right? And it's kind of nice to use to stabilize the bike to be able to do that, all right? Especially for like doing wheelies and stuff. You can't, I don't know, can you do wheelies with the regen throttle? Hadesomega is not a wheelie dude, okay? So, but anyway, yeah, that's a scoop, all right? But it worked really good. What I would do is speed up really fast, and then when I got to the end of the track, I would get on the regen, and then the bike would slide, and then I would get off the regen and get back on it. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I probably was on the regen too much. All right, and another disadvantage of the regen is you can't have the battery fully charged at the beginning of the race. Okay, and that's something I forgot about with the BAC controller. So during the practice I had to tell myself, hey, don't use the regen a lot, don't use the brakes at all, or use the mechanical brakes. All right, use the rear brake. Okay. Because we can't use it at the beginning of practice because we need to discharge the battery a little bit. Okay, so that's why in supermoto races I tried to have the battery charged to around 90%, guys. Okay, I don't have it fully charged to 100%. You don't need that much power, guys. So that's when you go into that first corner and you use that regen to slow the bike down, it does it. All right, because if you don't, the regen will overcharge the battery, right? And then the BMS will shut off, or it'll do something. It'll cut out and won't be happy. Okay, so that's that's the one disadvantage to the regen brake. But it worked great. When it did work, it worked great. I'll tell you this. So I'll just tell you now. This bike has 95% charge, and this bike has 80% charge after the race. We hardly went through any power, guys. This bike's the short track's just so short it doesn't eat up that much charge. Okay, you get excellent range with your electric bike for short track racing, guys. Who would have thought, right? Okay, the other battery, I brought another battery right here. All right, and I didn't even use it. All right, that's still charged to like 90%. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't charge it all the way because we didn't need it at all. Maybe if we did more races, maybe. We only did one race for each bike, so. Okay, so now we've got our practice on, and then heat race comes along, and I think they switched it up again. I was racing the Light B first in the Mad Dog, and then the 40 Plus, and there was one race in between, so I had a little bit of time to get back while the next race is going on to go swap bikes. All right, so that's like, and I've had the bikes on the warmers the whole day. Okay, guys, when I get back. Yeah, when I get back from riding both bikes, I would put them back on the warmers, okay? And try to keep them from heat cycling, to keep them warm and stuff, okay, that type of thing. And yeah, so, and I think it worked pretty good. Okay, so here's what happened for the first Mad Dog race, all right? Mad Dog Heat Race 1, all right? Or, I don't know, I think I was the second Mad Dog Heat race or something. I don't remember who I was racing. I know I raced Dean. Dean was there, and I think Cage was there. Cage Tadman. There's 4 of us. The heat races were only 4 bikes, okay, guys? It's kind of like a 4-bike grudge match type of thing, okay? Pretty cool. So off we go, boom, all right? And immediately, yeah, the 2 guys on the left, I was gridded 3rd, all right? And I think Dean was 4th. So he was on the outside of me, and then the 2 guys, they take off the same time, and we're like 1, 2, 3, like, you know, and then Dean is on the outside. I kind of pushed Dean on the outside, and I was able to swoop in. Number one made it past the second corner, right, on the far side, and then before I got to the far side, I was able to swoop in. Okay, yeah, there was a dude on the XR100, and I was able to swoop in that second corner, and get in front of him. But however, in that process, I went wide going in for the other turn, and then Dean swooped inside, and he must have passed the other guy, the guy on the XR, and he swooped in the inside of me, and then that was it. All right. So the other 2 guys took off for the rest of the race, and I think we may have got lapped by them. All right. and I came in third in that race. Okay, third out of 4 racers. Okay. And then the 40 plus race comes along, and then I'm waiting in line for a race to start, and I'm looking at these guys' bikes. I'm like, man, these are some fancy ass bikes, man. These 40-year-old guys got some really nice flat track bikes. They're like kind of exotic looking bikes that look like they're being custom built just for flat track. I'm like, oh fuck, man, I don't know what's gonna happen here. So, and sure enough, we line up with them. I think I was first. Yeah, I think they lined me up first for that one. I get the leftmost position. All right, and then so we take off, boom, and then just like I can't remember. Watch the video, guys, but. I wound up being dead last in that race, and I was like out there racing by myself, and they were just like they were pretty much having their own race out there, all 3 of them, and man, like yeah, I got killed, man. I got killed by those other 3 guys, man. It was not confidence inspiring, I'll tell you that. All right. I didn't really do anything different for this bike on the second practice, but for the second practice on this bike, I tried it in mode 3. All right. And I used that. So mode 3 has less regen, and it has probably a little softer throttle than the mode 4, and it was easier to control. I'm not gonna lie. Like yeah, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of nice. It's more gentle. It's kind of tamer, you know, type of thing, right? You can get on it a little more, and so yeah, I felt it was easier to control. However, there's less regen in mode 3, all right? Like, not as much as mode 4. Mode 4 has enough regen to lock the rear. And I remember that. Like, going into the corner sometimes, I would let off on the throttle, and the back would slip out because of the regen, and I get back on it, right? It doesn't do that anymore, all right? It doesn't slow down with the throttle. You can't slow down with the throttle anymore. So I was using heavy use of the left-hand rear brake, and I remember after practice, I saw that rear brake smoking. There was smoke coming out of that thing, man. I was like, oh my. All right. So I was like, well, we probably can't. So what I noticed is by the end of practice or by the end of the race, if I've been using that left-hand rear brake a lot, I'll get brake fade. Okay, I'll notice like, oh, the brakes are getting hot. They're not they're not biting anymore. Like, okay, and this has stainless steel braided lines. So yeah, I don't know. So I told myself, hey, you can't rely on this too much. Okay. Because what I was using it to just pitch the bike sideways into the corner and get back on it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we got killed in that race. All right, and then so there's a long break, and then they do the national anthem. They have like a parade lap for one of the flat track racers that died. Whose name was Dwayne Yarrow. All right, I didn't know. You know what? I might have met him, and I might have talked to him. I raced with the Yarrows a couple times already, so I want to say. They're like a popular kind of flat track family, okay? Anyway, so that's a scoop. They did the national anthem, and they did rider introductions, and they interviewed me and everything. They interviewed quite a number of riders, all right? And there was a good crowd. There must have been, they had a bunch of grandstands inside, all right, or just, you know, bleachers. And I would say about half of the bleachers were filled with people. Okay, it was a pretty good amount. I'd imagine, and it was a Friday night. All right, guys. So it's a work night or something, or work day. So that's why probably not too many people. I remember last year a lot of people showed up, but probably today. All right, they're racing right now as I make this video. All right, guys. I think the races had just started or something. Yeah, today there's probably been more people there. Okay, more people racing and more people thing. All right, I'll go over why I didn't go and do racing today. Okay, guys, I could have. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So there was all that, and then I think we were race 7 and 9 or something. 7, I think, was the Mad Dog race. Yeah. So we had the Mad Dog race, and there was 8 of us. All right, guys. They just threw us all in there. So if there's a lot of riders, they'll have multiple heats. Okay, guys. Like last year in the Mad Dog class, I think I got to race. I got to race at least twice. All right, I raced one heat and then another heat called a Last Chance Qualifier. So that's if you win that one, they'll advance you to the main. if you lost the first round. Okay, it's like a double elimination type of thing, right? There was none of that. All right, no matter what place you got, you were going to that main race. Okay, and you're a chance for glory. All right. So yeah, there was 8 of us, and I think I was gridded in the middle somewhere. All right, and guess what? I finished in the middle. All right, guys. So green flag goes up. Boom. We all take off. I can't quite remember what happened, man. But we were like in there. I was in there in the middle or something. There was a cage. This Rob or Rod Love. He's a popular flat track racer. He was racing. It was like a custom flat tracker bike, man. It had to have been air cooled and under 200 cc, right? So there you go. He had something like that out there. It was a fancy bike, just built for flat track. And I think it was the 3 of them. All right, Dean, Cage, and then this Love guy. Anyways, there's 3 of them in front of us, and I was able to get in front of everybody in the middle. I was able to get in front of everybody in the middle except for a guy named Joe Dirt in a Kawasaki. It was a KLX 140. I knew that bike. I was like, oh yeah, I have one of those. But anyway, yeah, he was able to swoop up under me and get in front of me, and then he crashed. Something happened like on the 3rd or 4th lap. We were gonna do like 25 laps or something. That's what they're saying. Man, that's a lot. But anyway, Cage and this Joe Dirt guy go down. All right, boom, and then Cage, and I remember I caught up to Cage. I lapped Cage, and then he took off, and then Cage came back and he passed me again. All right, but then this Joe Dirt guy, he was still on the ground, still picking his bike up and stuff. And then yeah, and then we keep on racing. I'm behind. I'm 4th. Yeah. I'm 4th. There was 3 other riders in front of me. Yep, that's right. So Cage passed me. All right, after I lapped him because he crashed. He passed. He wound up catching up and he passed me again. Okay, guys, he's an incredible rider, man. I will say. And it was that Rod Love and Dean battling it for 1st. All right, and I was in 4th because Cage came back, and then that Joe Dirt guy was still on the ground. Like I remember, I lapped him like twice. I watched my video, all right, guys. And then so when I looked at the results at the end, yeah, so that was the end of the race. I supposedly I should have finished 4th, but there was a scoring problem, right? I looked at the results at the end of the race, and I was put in 5th place behind this Joe Dirt guy in the Kawasaki. I know there was only one Kawasaki in that race, guys. Okay, and I know that guy crashed and he didn't catch up to me. Or I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty fast. He was a fast racer, guys. I think I was practicing with him, and yeah, he was faster than me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie on the KLX 140, guys. So yeah, that's the scoop. All right, that's how it went down. I think I should have got. I know I was in the middle of the pack. There was like a couple guys behind me, and then I should have been 4th, but they put me down as 5th. Okay, which I don't really care. It doesn't get me on the podium anyways. But yeah, they put me down as 5th, but I have video proof that I got 4th. Okay, I got P4. All right, guys, in that race. Not bad. Not bad, racing against Dean and Cage Tadman and that Rod Love. Yeah, man. They were really fast, man. They're legit, man. So there's not much I can do against them. All right. Even Cage crashed and he still passed me. So yeah. So that's a scoop for the Mad Dog race. All right, guys. And then the 40 plus race. Oh man. So I was 8th. I was gridded 8th in that race. So I was on the 2nd row, somewhere in the 2nd row. I could pretty much choose anywhere I want to be on the 2nd row. And then boom, flag goes up, and it's the same story as the last race, guys. Yeah. Everyone just dives into the first corner, and then like I'm in the back. I was on the inside of a guy with I think it was a YZ. It was a Yamaha. I know it was a blue bike, so it's probably a Yamaha. And I could have dove in there, but I let this guy get in front of me, and then I couldn't catch him for the whole race. Oh, you know what? it says I got 7th place out of 8 in that race. All right, but I didn't. I thought I was dead last, man. I did horrible, man. I got passed. I got passed so many times, and you know when you get passed, it means you got lapped, right? Feels bad, right? But yeah, I got passed like so many times by so many faster bikes, and yeah, I felt like I was out there racing by myself again with the Redshift. The Redshift was doing okay. I know I can get it to go faster if I can get it to slide more, you know, get on the throttle more, but it's just, yeah, man, it's kind of scary. What was I going to say? Just put your foot down and go to town on it, man. Well, yeah, well, you crash into a barrier doing that. I don't know, man. But anyway, so that's the scoop. I thought I got last place, but it said I got 7 out of 8. Maybe they made another scoring mistake. I don't know, man. I know I did really, really bad. But I was behind that Yamaha the whole time. All right, I think he got away from me a little bit, but I know I could pass him because I passed him during practice, guys. Okay, so I was just about as fast as the last guy. But yeah, I watched the video of me racing, and it's like I think there's some people had like problems with their bikes, like they stall. One guy stalled on the start line, and then I think somebody stalled again, and then I passed them, but then they passed me. It's so hard to score this, guys. I don't know why they don't use a transponder. Okay, transponder is a sure way to, you know, thing. But anyway, yeah, and there was a lot of us. There was 8 of us. That's tough to score, man, by hand scoring, man. But yeah, so anyway, that's a scoop. That's what happened. I thought I got last, but when I look at the results, I got 2nd to last, which is nothing to brag about, guys. Okay, so I will not race in the 40 plus anymore, at least for a short track. All right, those guys were super duper fast. We'll have to find a different class to race. I think the more appropriate class for this was 250. That's what I intend to race this bike in, against 250s. All right. In my opinion, this bike, it's got enough power. It's probably got more power than a 250, but not as much as a 450. So I'm kind of like in between. I'm in the sandwich between the 250 and the 450. That's why I'm saying the 250, 450 would have been a good race for this bike. So I believe that's the race that we should have picked. Okay. I mean, I wanted to do the Supermoto race, guys, but they canceled it. So yeah, we'll race this in the 250, 450 next time. And today, all right, today's racing, they had just a 250 class, all 250 all by itself. I could have raced this one in that too. Okay, that's what I would have raced in. All right. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. It's the end of the night. So I decide I'm gonna go home. All right. Santa Rosa is actually not too far from where I live. It's about 2 hours to get there. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I was falling asleep throughout the day, guys. Yeah, I had like a couple, like maybe 4 hours of sleep. All right. I didn't sleep very well the night before. And I had to wake up really early, load up the trailer. That took an hour. And I drove up there, and I was like tired already. And then so I'm racing and stuff. I shit you not, like before the race, I was like kind of nodding off. I was sitting on my trailer waiting for it was cold though. My hands were cold. I put them on the tire warmers and I warmed them up. But anyway, so yeah, I was really tired, man. The drive back was fucking awful, dude. I'm telling you. I almost fell asleep like more than a handful of times, dude. So there's a couple times I had to pull off and just take a nap for like 20 minutes and then head back up. And I was hungry too. I didn't want to stop for food. That's probably what I should have done. That might have, you know, given me some energy to keep from falling asleep, I guess. Or that will make me sleep more. But yeah, I feel like I should have stayed. But so here's my reasoning for not staying to race on Saturday. Because we raced the Friday races, right? There's Friday and Saturday. It was just kind of the same stuff from Friday to Saturday, okay, guys? Instead of a 250, 450 class, there was a 250 class. And instead of a Mad Dog, they had a 100, 150 class, all right? So those are the 2 races that I would have done with these 2 bikes, all right? I would have raced this in the 100, 150 air-cooled 4-stroke, all right? So that would eliminate a lot of the faster bikes, though. So, I mean, remember that super fast bike, or like, well, you can't race a 230 in that race either. I don't know what 199. What bikes fit in there? I mean, the KLX 170 would have fit in there. That would have been a great class for that bike. Yeah, it's kind of odd, like 200cc. I don't know whether they're bikes. I know there's some 190s out there, like Ovali, but anyway, it was 100 to 150. So you would be racing like TTR 125.
XR1 Hundo, maybe like a KX85. Oh, but that's water cooled. That's water cooled. No, you can't. You can't race that. KLX 140. I think KLX 140, CRF 150F. Those kind of bikes, where you would be racing it. So I would have more. It would pretty much be the same, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It would pretty much be the same race as the Mad Dog race, man. Yeah, I'm not lying. The results probably would have been the same, right? Maybe there might have been more racers on Saturday. It might have been a little different, all right? So yeah, it was pretty much, I was just going to do the same races the next day, all right? And I was just like, and I already sunk like $120, and then I had to do the pit pass. So that's like $160 already, and then I bought food there and everything, and I had to buy food again. But the thing is, like, a lot of people camped there that night in the pit area, and I could have stayed if I wanted to. Okay, I could have just stayed in the pits. They had bathrooms there. Okay, and I had power too, so it would have been pretty good staying there, right? But my final decision, yeah, I had the money, right? It was the money and the weather, right? I was hoping that like there would be like some kind of bonus thing, like if you paid to race one race, the second race would be like half off or something. They didn't have anything like that, guys. It was $60 per race, all right? And you know these races are super short, right? I felt like I wasn't getting. It was too expensive for me, guys. I'm kind of tight on money. I spent all the money working on the bikes, guys. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the scoop, man. It was that and the rain. Okay, so it's supposedly it's raining today, guys. It's raining right now. That's why I have the garage closed. And so I decided I didn't want to race on Saturday because of that. Okay, because of the rain, and because we'd be racing in like the same kind of classes. All right, again, but we probably would have a. I'm not gonna lie, we probably would have fared better on Saturday. Plus, we got a lot of practice on Friday racing, so maybe we would have done okay if we raced today. Also, another thing I heard is that they were having a race with the Rar Mantises today, so there was an e-bike race. So maybe they moved the e-bike race from Saturday to Sunday, but nobody told me that, and it wasn't on the schedule. So, yeah, I'm like, what the hell? I'm kind of pissed off about that. I wish they had done something like that on Friday. Why not? You know. And I wanted to race against electric bikes, so I would have signed up for multiple classes, more than 2 classes, if I could have raced against the electric bikes. Okay, because I know I would have whooped them. Okay, maybe I might have whooped them. All right, who knows? Maybe Zane would have showed up on his altar, so I don't know, that kind of crazy stuff. Okay, but yeah, that's the scoop, man. But yeah, I was disappointed that I didn't get to race in the supermoto class or the e-bike class. Okay, well, yeah, and then it would have just been the same races I raced the next day. I might have had a better chance in the 250 than the 250 450, because it's only 250, right? And then I probably might have had a better chance in the 100 150 race. Okay, but you'd be racing those fast XR1 Hondos. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I might have done better, maybe. But I would be racing the same people pretty much too, so I just kind of got bored, you know. So let's say, all right, well, I just think of it this way: it's another chance for glory, Hadesomega, and I decided no, the rain. All right, the rain was the deciding factor. I didn't want to get my electric bikes wet. All right, guys. You know, electricity and water, they don't mix. All right, I don't want to get my electric bikes rained on as much as possible, especially the Alta. Okay. If water gets in this battery somehow, like let's hope it doesn't, right? That it'll be all bad, okay, guys. But the bikes could get wet, all right. But I didn't want them to get wet, man. And I didn't want to drive home in the rain too. So it didn't rain all day Friday. The weather was great. I mean, it was not hot, it was not cold. It was cloudy the whole day, dude. It was an awesome day of racing, you know, weather-wise. Okay. Okay, so. Things to improve for next time, all right, guys. We're at that stage, all right. I think, well, let's go over what went well. The regen throttle works really good. Hadesomega, you're using it too much, all right. I'm trying to use it to slow the bike down too much. I need to practice with it more, all right. But I used to be pretty good at it. I have to find a way to get this thing to brake even harder, all right. I want it to brake harder going into the. I want it enough to lock up the rear, okay. And it kind of. It's close to what I want, but I want just a little bit more bite. All right, it doesn't hurt to have the most regen braking force as possible, because if you didn't want a lot of regen, you just don't have to press the lever down all the way. That's all there is to it, okay, guys? But it worked great, and you could still use the mechanical brakes if you wanted to. Or if you want to do trail braking, then yeah, you probably want to use the thing. All right. But I'm so glad to have it back. This will be great for dirt biking too. That's another great thing for it. Okay, so that's the scoop. The Redshift aux brake worked really good in this race. All right, I think it was nice to be able to use the rear brake on the left handlebar. I used it a lot, you know, to get the bike to brake and stuff. Yeah, I just need to practice more. Yeah, you just need more practice, Hadesomega, and today probably would have been a good day to get more practice at the cost, right? Yeah, I kind of got lost on the way out too, man. I got trapped in there. I didn't leave until like 10 o'clock. I didn't get all my stuff packed up until like 10. I feel like I probably should have just camped there tonight, because I was so tired on the way home. Like I said, it was super dangerous. I almost fell asleep a bunch of times. Yeah, I probably should have. I would have got a decent night's sleep if I stayed there. You know, I was tired already, so I probably would have just went straight to bed. You know, that type of thing. But yeah, I unloaded everything like 2 o'clock in the morning when I got home. It was awful, dude. I was so tired, and yeah. So also the tape on the boot, it worked fine. There are some people they offered to give me some piece of carpet to try the carpet out. Maybe next time we'll try the carpet. Basically, you just get a piece of carpet, you cut it the same shape as the boot, and then you tape the sides to the boot, all right? Or tape the top to the boot, that type of thing. Okay, I've never tried it. All right, this worked great. All right, the tape, as you saw my demonstration earlier. All right, and I don't really put my feet on the ground too much. Okay, there's a lot of different flat tracking racing styles, is what I see. All right, some people put their foot down straight. Some people put their foot down at an angle. Actually, I'm one of the ones that I put my foot down at an angle, right? There's some people that ride up like a motocross bike up on the tank. There's some people that ride back in the middle. There's a lot of different ways to ride flat track, guys. You could probably race with your knee down, guys. Okay, batteries did okay. Yeah, I think for flat track, these batteries work good. All right, I mean, there's nothing I can do about the one on the Alta, but this battery was okay. We only went through like 20% of the battery. I brought the chargers, but I never charged once. Okay, that's usually how it is for flat track, short track races. Okay, guys, they don't really eat up all that much power. You're not really going too far, you know. But yeah, you need like a lot of bursts of power, frequently, right? On and off the throttle, on and off. Okay, and an electric bike is great for short track races. I don't know why more people don't do it. Moto 3s, they did great. All right, they're brand new tires. We're using them. I'm pretty sure they're scrubbed in. That surface was really tacky. All right, it was like it reminded me of a drag strip. Okay, so throughout the day, guys, the more people raced on that surface, the more rubber came off from people's tires, and it got tackier and tackier, and it got more grip. I also noticed that like late into the race, maybe after 3 or 4 laps, the bike started to grip better, and I was having problems fighting the bike. Okay, I couldn't get the bike to turn anymore. Like it wouldn't slide anymore. You know, it wouldn't oversteer like it did at the beginning of the race, and that's probably maybe because the tires are warming up and they're getting really sticky. All right, there's less grip on the outside than there is on the inside. Why? Well, because everyone is trying to stay on the inside, right? So that's where most of the rubber comes off onto, okay? That's where you want to be, all right? Yeah, it's a short track, indoor short track is it's a really interesting racing, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And it's fun. It's fun to try to practice sliding your bike around and stuff. Put your foot down, just drag it, and get the back to whip out and everything. I feel it's a valuable skill, not only just for flat track, for like even like supermoto racing, motocross racing. It all has, you know, all those applications, you know. But you're going to be doing it in different conditions, all right? Yeah, I tell you this, we did the asphalt racing in Moto Beach Classic in Huntington Beach, and that was the most grip I've ever done the short track in. All right, I've done short track on dirt, like a cushion. I've done the indoor, the concrete, like the one we raced yesterday, and I've done asphalt. Okay, and asphalt has the most grip. All right, guys, and I think that track was longer. That track had to be like twice as long as the track we raced on today, the other day. Yeah, it is so short, guys. You just got enough time. You got maybe 1-2 seconds. The throttle's open, and then you got to close it again, and then you got to turn the bike. All right, it's literally almost a circle, guys. It's that short a track. All right, they were saying like people were saying, oh, you know what? It's a little bit bigger than last year. So I'm like, really? I can't remember, man, but yeah, it seemed like pretty short to me, man. But that's the short and the short track, guys. All right, to tell you the truth, I kind of like a longer track. All right, if it was like twice the length as what we had in this race, or we had twice the place to move around in, I think that would be ideal for these bikes. Okay, you can go faster and then just go sideways or slow down real whole lot, and then just speed out. All right, that's how I did it on the asphalt, guys. I would speed up, turn the bike, get the bike pointed in the right direction, and then just get on the throttle again. All right, I wouldn't slide the bike. There wasn't a lot of sliding of the bike, guys. All right, yeah, but I would use the rear brake a lot, and yeah, you probably could get it to slide. But the concrete, you can slide a lot, and if you get on the throttle, the tire just doesn't spin like crazy, guys. It'll hook up, but it'll still be sliding at the same time. So yeah, it's the other way, right? This way. All right. So yeah, it's fun and it's challenging. It's a different kind of racing that Hadesomega does. All right. All the people, pretty much all the people there were flat track racers, guys. That's all they do. All right. I don't know what other kind of racings they do, but yeah, they had people from like Washington, Lake Elsinore. That's like in SoCal. Yeah, some people came from all over the country to race in this race. All right. That's how rare it is to be able to race indoors. All right, guys. And then yes, I'm fairly certain I got exhaust poisoning again in there, man. It is so bad. Some of those bikes, the vintage bikes, are so bad, man. It stinks so much. They're so loud. Ugh. Yeah, I didn't like the vintage bikes, man. They're fun to watch, man. But like, dude, the amount of smog that fills up in the room, it gets all hazy. Watch my video, guys. It looks all foggy inside the building. It's no joke, dude. That's how the exhaust smoke just fills up in there. They have fans on and everything, but like it's only so good at keeping the smog out, man. Yeah, it's flat short track racing must be awful for the environment. That's all I'm saying, man. That's why I'm saying electric, man. Electric, dude. Clean air. That's what I say. All right, but it was kind of fun. Yeah. So anyway. Better luck next year, Hadesomega. I didn't do the race today. I feel like I probably should because they did that RAR Mantis race. All right. If they would have allowed me to sign up and race with the Mantises and I got a trophy for that, I would have signed up for it. Okay. If I knew they were going to have a race, I think, like that. But it wasn't on the schedule, and nobody came up to me. Hey, Marlon, you're the only one electric bike here. You want to race with these guys tomorrow? No, there was none of that. All right. So I hightailed it out of there. All right, if I knew that I could do an electric bike race with those guys, then I would have done it. All right, because I wanted to show them how much better my Suron is to a Mantis. Okay, to a RAR, right, that type of thing. But granted, I've dumped a bunch of money into this bike. All right, guys. But yeah, that's what I use it for, man. I use it for racing. All right, I think both bikes did fantastic. All right, me as a rider or racer, I have to do better, okay? I am not a very good flat track racer, guys. I try, all right? But in Supermoto, I have a flat track racer. I use a flat track racing style, okay, guys? I'll tell you that now. Yeah. Sometimes I get my knee out, but yeah, I use the flat tracker racer style, and I sit in the middle of the bike type of thing, all right? I drag my feet everywhere. So, and I don't just drag my feet just to stabilize the bike. I use it as a ballast. Right? That's why you stick your foot out, guys. It's a counterbalance. Okay. Yeah. So that's a scoop. I just need more practice. I mean, flat track is super competitive, apparently. Okay, not as competitive as Supermoto. Okay, but you know what? I feel I did better than last year. We finished mid-pack in the Mad Dog race, and I got dead last in the 40 plus. So you know what that means? We're not going to race 40 plus next year. That's for sure. Okay, next year we'll race a 250, 450 with this guy. Okay, I would like to bring my KLX 170 out to race. I feel like my KLX 170 with the Supermoto wheels would do pretty good in this race. Okay, guys, but I don't have a trailer that can accommodate 3 bikes. Okay, I'm already, you know, the Harbor Freight trailers already has a hard time carrying 2 bikes. I don't think it could do 3. Okay, so I'm looking, when I pay my RAV4 off, I'm looking to get a bigger trailer, all right, a newer, bigger trailer than what I have right now, so I can put 3 bikes on it. I would like to get an enclosed trailer too, all right, but people like to steal those. Okay, so that's one of the things I don't like. All right, so yeah, that's the scoop. That's the scoop, guys. So I would like to bring the So I did race the KLX 170 in one flat track. It was a dirt track race. It was a dirt track, short track, and it did great. It did better than this. All right, so it's just got a better racing ergonomics and stuff for flat track. You just got to throw it in second gear and keep it there, and just on and off, rear brake, on and off, rear brake, that type of thing. All right, guys, rinse and repeat. That's all you got to do. Just keep on doing that. All right. But the Light V is great that, you know, it's got power on tap like all the time. Right? But you really don't have to do a lot of shifting in flat track, guys. It's only like, you only maybe need to use 1 and 2 gear, first gear, second gear, first gear, second gear. I don't think you need to use like a third gear, man, because you're speeding up and you're slowing down a whole lot. You shouldn't be shifting, right? You should be using your whole rev range. Okay, so I'm gonna work on maybe next year, if I can get a new trailer, we'll bring all 3 bikes. Okay, I like to bring the KLX and do some more flat track with it. But yeah, I feel like I'm a better flat track racer on the KLX, okay? Which is a bummer because, well, I mean the main reason I wanted to go racing also was to race in that e-bike class, okay, and they didn't have it, so I was a little disappointed in that. But it's not a race if you're by yourself, guys. Okay, thanks for watching. Hadesomega out. Yeah, just do what you've been doing, Hadesomega. Just keep on practicing. I think I got everything down. I'll know to tape up all the lights, zip tie my sides. It's so annoying to have to zip tie that stuff up. Yeah, I don't know why they won't let you use side stand and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully, Hawk Mazzata will have some kind of flat track races this year. All right. Yeah. I don't really get to do too much flat track racing, but I did do a lot last year because of Hawk Mazzata. Right, thanks to Hawk. I got to get more practice with that, and that's when I found out, yeah, I'm better on the KLX. So we'll probably bring that one from now on for those kind of races, all right? But yeah, Hadesomega tries, you know, I try the flat track, man, and it's fun. I like it a lot. I'll try to do more flat track racing. I try to go to Lodi and try to race sometime maybe, but they have a flat track racing track over there. But yeah, should be fun. I enjoy it. It's challenging, you know. I'm not very good at it, but hopefully we'll get better. All right, type of thing. And I you know, the skills that you use from flat track, it will, you know, you can use them in other different types of racing, like motocross and supermoto. Okay. Hopefully Hawk has some flat track races this year, and there may be Moto Beach Classic this year too, so I will try to go do that again. I really enjoyed Moto Beach Classic, and I got to race my electric bike in the electric class. That's what I liked about that. So I'd like to do that race again, if possible. Right? The year before I couldn't do it because they ran out of tickets, and then the next year they had a lot more tickets left. So yeah. But it's all dependent on weather, right? I don't like to race when the weather's bad. That's why I didn't race today on Saturday, because of the rain. Why is Hadesomega afraid of the rain? Well, it's a big inconvenience, man. You got to go in and out of the building. You have to keep the bike in the building, so then now it's more crowded. you gotta stay in there. You're sucking in the exhaust fumes from all the other bikes. Yeah, man. It's just like, yeah, yeah. All right, and I'm not feeling too good right now, so I would feel shitty while I'm at the track right now racing. So, yeah, maybe I'd feel better once I started racing. I don't know. That's a good question, but yeah. So that's a no. That's more reasoning why I didn't race today. All right, because Saturday, you know, the rain. I was looking at the forecast and I'm like, man, this freaking rain again. I raced a 24-hour endurance race. Half of it was in the rain, man. It was awful, dude. And I was like, so that's a scoop. That's why I didn't race on Saturday. So because because of the rain, right? That was one of the reasons, was the rain. I didn't want to have to take my boot off getting in and out of the building. I didn't want to leave my bikes in the building, or I couldn't use the tire warmers. But another thing would have been, it would have been nice to try to race without the tire warmers. All right, I did that the first year and it was fine, you know. So yeah, maybe just lower the tire pressure more. What's to say? I think Dean's dad was saying that they were running 8 or 9 psi in the tires, like pretty much nothing, man. Yeah, so maybe I can just go down on the tire pressure. That'll get the tires stickier, you know. It'll get the tires warmer faster. But in my opinion, I want to get the bike to slide more. I don't want it, you know. I don't want it to grip more. I need it to slide more. If it grips more, it's harder to turn. If it's sliding, you can, you know, you're pointing the bike where you want it to go. All right. Try to get the bike to slide more. Right? We'll try to practice more, maybe in the dirt. You know, I could probably practice that in the dirt. But. Okay. Also, I'm looking at maybe I'm looking at getting some dual sport tires for the Alta Redshift. All right, for my street wheels. Okay, so I'm gonna try to find some. I already kind of found some Kenda 701s or something, or 765, whatever they're called. The kind of, they're the same tires that are on my freaking KLR. Okay, it's like an 80-20% dual sport tire, and I was gonna use that for dirt track. Okay, guys. I think that'll be okay. And then I will use that on the street, and I'll use that for dirt track races. So like if there's a dirt track race, we can use the supermoto. We can use the stock wheels, the street wheels, to race in the dirt. All right, with this guy. All right, should be fun. I want to try some dirt track with this guy. So, all right, but we need the right tire. We need a better tire for it. And we're gonna go with those Kenda's dual sport tires. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Hadesomega out. Oh yeah, and so this is the T-shirt for the race, guys. I bought it this year. All right, the Santa Rosa Indoor Short Track. Okay. What's the 24? Oh, maybe that's the guy that passed away. Wayne Yarrow. Okay, that's the back of it. Hopefully you guys can see it. Pretty cool. It's a nice shirt. All right. Oh yeah. So I also wanted to mention, how did the two bikes do? Okay. All the work that I've been prepping for the 2024 racing year, done good. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, I didn't have any problems with the bikes at all. All right, no hiccups with the Light B, with the new controller. Last year, I installed that KO controller on here, and I had all sorts of problems with it. All right, maybe it's because it got wet. All right, because I know when I drove it up there, it got all wet and stuff, and yeah, so I didn't have to deal with that problem this year, having the bike get wet. I think if it got wet, it would still run fine though. Okay. Yeah, so the Light B ran great. That's what I'm gonna say. No hiccups. I feel that maybe I can try to get the throttle to be more touchier, more faster. All right. I have the power turned up all the way. All right. It's got like 16 or 17 kilowatts and about 800 phase amps. I'm probably not going to run that for supermoto, but for short track, you need a lot of power in a short amount of time, and like it delivered. All right, guys, no hiccups. All right, at least that's the one thing you have to worry about if you're jacking up the power a lot. It's like it may cut out, it may, you know, stall or whatever, because maybe the battery, you know, you're drawing too much power from the battery, or it's something the controller doesn't like it, something like that. No hiccups whatsoever. All right, whenever I twisted that throttle, it gave me what I wanted. Okay,
For the most part. I still feel the throttle's a little slow on it. I see if I could speed it up a little bit. I remember that KO throttle. It took me a while to get it, but I got it like so. It's like a freaking like a hair trigger, man. It just takes off right away. All right, this thing used to be a whole shot monster, and it didn't feel like it was a whole shot monster in this race. But I don't know, man. We'll have to do some supermoto race starts and stuff to find out, or drag racing. We'll take it drag racing. Hopefully, there'll be drag racing this year. KO swing arm was fine. The chain was okay. The chain's kind of making some noise again, man, but I checked the slack and everything. It looks fine. Primary drive is fine. Everything held up nicely. These tires were great. All right, no problems with the tires. You know, they spin enough. You know, I just want to say you want it to slide a little bit. That's what I want to say. All right. Yeah, no problems with the Light B at all. All right, I didn't have any major problems. So that's a good thing. All right, it's good to know the bike is in a good state of tune and it's running well. It looks freaking sweet with my new front, front number plate and everything. All right, and we gotta take all these tape off of the bike after. Redshift ran great, guys. All right, no hiccups whatsoever, no crashes this time. Like the last race, man, I bumped into somebody. Yeah, I've been crashing the Redshift a whole lot, man. It's just, man, that torque is tough to manage is what I'm gonna say. Oxbrake worked great. All right, I don't really have too much complaints other than, yeah, sometimes it's kind of squishy, man. Like, yeah, it's not like the front brake where like you just touch it and it grabs right away. You've gotta pull it like a lot, but when you do, it works pretty good. Okay, I know the rear brake overheated on it a little bit. All right, I saw steam, like smoke coming out from the brakes when I when I put it back on the stand. I was like, oh, that's a hot brake right there. Don't touch it. But I don't think it faded all that bad, is what I'm gonna say. Okay, so yeah, both bikes performed really well. All right, how well the suspension tuning worked out for the Alta, I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to take this on the racetrack, but when I did take it out on the twisties, it's fine. It handles much better than it did before. Okay, so, and I'm sure it helped in the flat track race. Okay, cool deal. But yeah, they did everything I asked of them to do, and I tried my best. That's all I could say. All right. If I was a better rider, maybe I could get these guys on the podium. All right. I don't want to place any blame on the bikes. Okay. I did the best as I could. They did the best they could too. Okay. So, and the tire warmers, it's kind of debatable whether the tire warmers help at all. Okay. The surface is so sticky. I feel like I kind of want the tires to slide more, actually, guys. That's the scoop. I kind of want less grip instead of more grip, if you can understand that, right? It's too much grip, the bike doesn't want to turn. Not enough grip, and the bike, doesn't. The bike might spin out or something, But we had no crashes, nothing like that. I broke nothing, so I'm pretty happy with the results. All right. Did we have fun? Yes, we had fun. Did we break the bike? No, we didn't break the bike. All right, no crashes, nothing. Bike ran good. Did I get hurt? No, I didn't get hurt. Okay. In the last race last year, I got hit by the Zero bike, man, and it fucked my bike up, man. I bent the rear swing arm bolt and all this stuff. So nobody hit me this year. That was good. It's a pretty clean racing is what I'm going to say. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, some of the guys were really fast and they would we would be rubbing elbows and stuff. And yeah, they were trying to get around me and stuff because they were lapping me. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough game, this flat track. That's what I say, all right? But yeah, I think that for the most part, I'm pretty happy with the results. I wish we could have got a better positions at the end of the races, but it is what it is. Well, better luck next time type of thing. But thanks for giving me all that you guys got. All right, I'm gonna try to do something about this freaking license plate, man. It's so ugly looking. It's maybe just put it sideways. It would look cooler if it's sideways. Now I'm thinking of relocating this up here. We're gonna move it up here so it just covers this little fender part here, and then I'm gonna ditch these reflectors on it. It's so dorky looking, man. I'm telling you. All right. But thanks for the ride, guys. Here we go.